I'm not getting the audio, Susan. I don't know why. Susan? Not closed, but it's not,
Are you letting maybe you don't have it turned up. You have your audio, you have. I heard something there. Maybe
Yeah.
it's
It's them.
So that should be good.
Any better for you guys? Still nothing? Yeah, no, they can't hear us. Says.
Yes, Steve, we can hear you.
Oh, you can now.
Yes, thank you.
Oh, yep, no worries.
Who's that voice, man?
I don't know.
Sounds like a long lost friend.
Are we doing,
Salisbury's P and Z is sitting in today.
I think we're doing football.
There's a 500-foot thing tonight, so we wanted to make sure there was a
they're concerned-
representative
they're
because
concerned for the-
there is a
There we go.
bordering issue with a zoning permit tonight.
She sounds totally like a Zoom bomber.
Where are we?
Okay.
I think
With discussion, so we need to approve the minutes.
Okay.
regular minutes, we had a
Motion,
motion by
second,
Eileen,
Matt.
second by Matt. We were at voting, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
I heard it
Abstain.
abstain from Tim and from Steven.
Sold.
So
I saw their eyes.
Eileen and I make both
my eye is so good I can hear them before they go.
public and regular.
Public
Yes.
comments?
Eileen and me. Oh, Eileen.
Public.
I have it back.
No, no one online.
Okay.
No
Right.
public
Yep.
comments from online. Public hearing, we'll start the public hearing for Music Mountain Farm lots 4A and 11. Chief, welcome back.
No Republican. Do you want me to just put it on the table or?
I'm happy to also share this with everyone. I do have, the date is June of 2025, revised July 2020.
Yeah, same plan. So
And if you want to,
easier to spread those out.
and if you want to reference what sheet you're looking at.
Yeah.
I do have 2 copies on the file, so I'm happy to pass another one down in your direction if you're ready for it. Awesome.
Sometimes you do.
All right. So we're
Many copies.
For the record, do you mind
Yeah.
giving your name?
for the record, Keith Bodwell, Bodwell Engineering and Surveying. Do you need address there? 92 Cream Hill Road, West Cornwall.
Okay. No Cornwall.
All right. So we are proposing taking 2 existing lots, creating a third lot, and 4A will expand to be a larger lot. This is the existing conditions. 4A is 6.1 acres. 11A is 79.6 acres. Flipping over to each. So we're 4A will become 28.3 acres. 11 which 11 becomes 11B and 11C. for 24.85 acres and 32.54 acres. Of right away through 11C to access 11B in the rear. Open space, we have 15.01% open space with 4.8 acres here, 4.05 acres here, and 4.01 acres. Let's see.
And I know this is, but we'll just state on record that this is an A2 survey.
This is an A2 survey map, correct?
Yeah, I was looking for the.
What was the methodology for discerning the open space reservation?
So it was based on the 15% of the lots that we are re-subdividing.
Understood, but did you
Sorry.
follow 4.07 with the rationale?
Yes, so this is state land here, so we wanted to try to protect against the, adding to that corridor of open space here. This land we added because that's the closest downhill neighbor, will provide more protection from them.
And that's basically, so it's this for the connection and then this for a
So
buffer.
buffering to the neighbor there. Right now, this owner's looking to most likely to buy that parcel, so they'll have a nice buffer once they acquire that too. So
We had the widths of the driveways before. Is there a length of driveways? Like how long it will be? I know we did the grades and that was part of it, but
yeah, I'm trying to think if I've got that.
I tried to look at what you I couldn't see it when it was small.
Yeah, that's 1,800 feet.
Which lot was
Right. For the longest driveway back to Living.
that? Okay, longest is 18. And
And these are closed sites, so that could change.
That could change. Yeah, they could put that way up here or something
no,
and be a lot shorter too. But
I just
this is the
remember.
best view, so it's more likely where they put it. But these are, or they may not get developed at all. Like this one, the neighbor's likely to buy it. It may, still could get developed, but it may just become part of theirs in the buffer. So these may. I got my slopes all there.
and then talk us through the shaded area. This is
The greater than
I'm reading it upside down.
15%
Got it.
slope. So
non-buildable.
well, yeah, it's not unbuildable. You have the 15 you want it 15%.
It's not buildable.
Not buildable over. So there's 20 for
Buildable, I think you're fine. It's the slope of the driveway cannot exceed 15, right?
yeah.
That's correct. But there's also the slopes. I'm just flipping through a lot of regulations right now.
Is the easement width and length, or is it just the word road? Is it a specific the easement that we're creating to get to that back lot?
Yeah.
Is it specific just to the road itself? Is it a certain length and width doesn't have to be the road, that it's just the easement for that back lot?
So they'll have it's a I think 50-foot. Sure, it's 50 foot. Oh, no, it's only 75 feet. It's 100 foot at the intersection. It's
So you're calling it an access way because it's an interior
Yeah.
lot,
exactly.
and that access way is 50 feet,
75.
75.
In length.
Oh no, in length it's
Oh.
550
Oh, okay.
on that side. It's
75 wide.
600 on this side. Yeah.
Got it.
So there'll be a deed prepared
be
with an
correct.
easement access way of 75 feet wide in
Yeah,
favor
it'll be these bearings and distances. So they'll prepare a deed with those bearings and distances. That'll be
So you're saying it's 75 on this side and than this? Is that what you say?
like perpendicular across.
Is it
Total
you know,
75, but
yeah,
because that's at an
angle, you're at
it picks
is
up
it
25
one
feet.
easement or are we talking two easements because you're actually going to two separate properties?
no, it'll be an easement for 11C accesses from its own
Oh, got
on
it.
its own
All
property.
right. Okay, perfect. Just want to be
So
sure.
it's just across.
Nope.
It's across 11C for 11B.
Yep, perfect. That's why I just want to be sure. Got it. Okay.
Okay.
So Torrington area health has been received. There's a request for waivers within the application and in accordance with statute, the commission has to by 3/4 vote of the entire body of the board approve the waivers. And if you don't mind, I'll just go through them one by one. One is the drawing scale. So provided this is a rather large land area, the applicant is requesting to submit them at a scale of 1 inch is 150 feet instead of what is typically required, which is 1 inch is 40 feet. Since the subdivision again consists of 3 large lots, it's more beneficial for them to show the entire subdivision on one plan rather than the separate drawing in multiple sections.
The dozens of pages that you wouldn't be able to make sense of.
So that's waiver 1. Greg, do you want me to go by these individually and then? Oh, would you
Then we'll
all
get them on the
vote?
record, yeah.
Okay, so that was waiver 1. I looked.
Vote on it.
Sure.
Oh, well, this is still
No,
open. Yeah, so
yeah.
we won't act on it
Yeah. Do you want me to go on to the next one?
if it's applicable now.
Yeah. They're requesting a waiver from the index map requirement because they're showing the entire area covered under the application on one sheet and they're not dividing it into multiple sheets. This is the index map.
That no, an index map would be if we had done it at 40 scale, you'd have that, sheet 1 was this portion of the property, sheet 2.
Got it.
This is your location map, which is
Got it.
one of your requirements on the
Perfect.
sector.
Then there was this identification of trees, and that sort of goes to your existing conditions sheet. So in accordance with, might see Greg looking through the subdivision regulations, if you go on to what's asked of the existing conditions, I believe, and methodology for development, it does ask that trees of greater than 18 inches in diameter in areas of proposed development or clearing get indicated on this map. The waiver has been requested because all houses, driveways, septic systems, and wells do not represent actual proposed development construction at this time, but instead are shown to demonstrate the feasibility of building on the proposed lots. Future development of the proposed lots would require an application for a zoning permit, and the trees would be located at this time when owners of the lots created in the re-subdivision has selected an area on the lot for development. So
Also, a lot of these driveways are following old woods roads, so we're really not taking anything down in those areas to get the access in.
So that's waiver 3.
And there has been fairly recent logging on the property,
Correct.
and that was post the first subdivision,
Correct.
and subsequently we're here for a re-subdivision. But the logging that took place, just for the record, is still well within the boundaries of the open space and everything else is shown tonight.
Yeah.
Janelle, can I ask you a question on that waiver? So
Yeah.
with that waiver, we're putting the onus on the owner when they come back with a building permit or a site plan for, when do we
So it's
get our,
a great question.
when do we actually get our diameter markings?
It's a great question. So I would actually, because zoning permits do not typically
Right.
ask for the caliper of trees. for site development, I would actually condition an approval, should the commission go there,
Mhm.
on mapped existing conditions when the lots go for development. And because also we'll get to drainage eventually, drainage, again, it says that individual dwellings, no immediate construction is being proposed. So there's certain things that haven't been hashed out because of the nature of the fact that this is a re-subdivision.
And so we can do approval with conditions and then have those stipulations.
I would
Okay.
just
No,
give,
I just didn't know
yeah.
where we were gonna ask for
It's
that,
a great
so-
question. So very typically, your zoning permit, disturbance of greater than a half acre is going to always require erosion and sedimentation controls.
Yeah.
Should the commission find that due to the size of the properties, if you feel that you want to condition future development on coming back before the commission as a site plan, that's completely up to you.
Okay.
But just, it's a great
I
question.
think that's probably, I mean, is this the time to discuss this or do we want to discuss this later?
Well, if you have questions, now's a good time to ask them. We can discuss later.
Okay, I'm nervous if we push it all the way to a building permit. I like the idea of the site plan because then we can actually see the property in a different way if we're gonna ask for
Yeah,
these
well,
things to be.
and just because of the size of the property and the extensive length compared to a
Right.
2 acre lot, it would make sense for us to get a really good look at the drainage and stormwater and driveway and all these.
Like I do show erosion sediment, I do show drainage on here, but it's very,
No, it all
you
depends.
know,
No,
it's
that's
very
why I wanted to make sure
hypothetical
we
because
find it somewhere else.
they could put the house completely different spot and then that, what I show doesn't really make any sense anymore, so.
Mhm.
Which page you want?
Oh, no, it's fine. I just wanted to get an idea.
I know last time the topography there, the topo map didn't print correctly, is that correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's,
It's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
does look like it was an issue again. PDFs I sent you probably haven't really put the,
I don't think they did.
they didn't, okay.
Yeah, I should.
I don't think, no,
Right, well, I'll have to get that rectified, but
they sort of did, but
yeah,
not.
On existing conditions,
I mean, no, on the proposed, on the blow ups of each lot they are, but for some reason,
Yeah.
the topography's there,
That's
but
right.
it just didn't generate across the whole thing for some reason. So yes, that is an issue.
yeah.
So they're kind of there, but not.
They're there, but not, yeah, the blow ups of each lot when I have for the septic and everything are there. But we had a copy. Yep. Do we have that? Oh,
I see this other.
Oh.
one copy worked last time. I just don't know what
I'm looking.
happens with it. If that's that one or that's.
Yeah, there was the topography on one of them.
Yeah, we had gotten one
Yeah.
last time
Yeah.
that worked, and I don't know. We still have that, or no? That one's got it missing. Yeah.
Same.
There's the blow up of those have it, but the
Yeah, the blow ups do. but not
something
the-
that generates, yeah, it did not generate correctly.
I mean, oh,
I mean, if you add it all up, it's tiny there, but
Right.
I guess we could just.
so
I can get you a new.
what's helpful is that you shaded
Yeah.
the
Slope.
slopes here.
Yeah.
And it, based on what I'm hearing from the commission, it sounds like some additional information at the time of site development
It's gonna be
is
required.
probably
Yeah.
going to be a
Makes sense
request.
to me.
Especially provided you have relatively steep
Yeah.
driveways.
Yeah.
And that individual site design is really going to be
That's gonna be
important.
key in the issue. Yeah, like you can see, I showed swell, infiltration swell up these, but that driveway could move. The driveway could, so it doesn't mean anything really.
And it just ties in with, so the other waivers, just to go through these quickly. So road design, this is number 4. It's not applicable because it doesn't propose the construction of a public road. 5 is drainage design, again, It's not proposing the individual dwellings at this time, no immediate construction. Then we get into 6, utility design. It's not known whether future owners will actually develop the lots or where on the lots they're going to choose to construct a dwelling. So it would require a zoning application, utilities to be designed when it is known. And then finally, waiver 7 further states construction details and dimensions. Houses, driveways, septics, wells shown on the site plan submitted with the application don't represent actual proposed construction at this time, but instead are shown to demonstrate feasibility on building of the proposed lots. Future development of the proposed lots would require application for a zoning permit. At the time, the applicants would provide the necessary construction details when the nature and extent of the proposed development is known.
I think we want a site plan on that as well, right? Because where they're gonna put the house and all that stuff, I want a site plan as
That
part
would
of
be my
that too, yeah.
Yeah, I think that,
So they know where the house is. Yeah,
Well,
yeah,
well, right now,
it can't just be a building permit,
right.
or a
Like-
zoning permit.
where you have the septic, for the
Yeah.
feasibility, was that already tested?
It was
in that
tested.
in that spot, so if it
Right.
goes somewhere else, we'd have to test again, right?
Yeah, the health department would require it to be retested and everything
Okay,
else, so
okay,
yeah. But we did test those 3 spots, found suitable soils, but
okay,
if they move the house, we'd probably move the septic, it makes sense,
Yeah,
yeah. And so therefore we would retest anyway.
With the potential moving of the house, you're saying, you also said it's gonna be kind of difficult within here because this is sort of the area where they wanna build, so if this is getting to be steep to get up here, you're really only giving them one choice,
Well,
right?
they could put the house down there if they want, we don't know. I don't know if my client's gonna develop it or he's gonna sell it or
Got
if
it.
they don't.
so that's
no.
the optimal site.
That's the nice, the nicest view.
But that's gonna be the steepest.
But if
part of
somebody
the
also
road
wants to
get
put
up
an
there,
1,800
too.
foot driveway, it's gonna be
Yeah.
expensive. So they may say, oh,
Right.
well, I'll just come into here, put the house here, and I'm happy with that, depending on the, who buys it.
Yeah. I'm a little nervous about that part of it.
Did we talk water report, last time, Keith? Every application for approval or
I have it.
subdivision,
It should be there should be all that in the,
is it in the cover letter?
yeah. There should be a.
I see
Third
soil
half.
map, I see your. RCS. I see your Torrington area health. And change, yeah, so there's water.
And basically, it's stormwater is going to depend on where we develop, how big the house is going to be. All those are going to be
This
factors.
is for domestic water.
Oh, for domestic water?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, we've got proposed
private well.
private wells.
So Janelle, on this, it says a report from the Director of Health shall be obtained and submitted to the commission by.
That's the primary health.
Is that more,
So this has been received.
and again, this is for public drinking, or I'm sorry, for
Well,
domestic.
yeah. So this only talks about the letter that we received is for sewage disposal, but it's,
They look at that, well, the wells are included on their plan when they analyze it, so. The plans that they received were
tested, oh, here. it is.
these are the plans that they received, the health department, so it shows the well, it shows that, they look at
So
that.
this is actually more helpful than your narrative and your letter.
There's one for each,
Yes,
site.
but just, so this is what I would refer to as far as that water report.
Okay.
Your flow factor and everything. So the water report, essentially, I would amend your letter to just say, as shown on each sheet. Because it's a little bit more extensive
Sure.
than what's on your,
Yeah.
sorry to have twisted the plans and shoved them back. So I'll just notate as shown on each sheet.
And then also has your erosion and sediment.
Yeah, and it's here, and it's also. Somebody requires them to be bound, you know,
You
so
might want to get a little bit more sophisticated in the event that you, whoever is doing the stormwater management and the ENS controls eventually, for the site, but again.
Yeah, it's gonna have to be-
Sure.
yeah. There wasn't a whole lot of point in putting in detailed design on work into them when they may go completely different place.
So, I have one question.
Yeah.
If this is one property and one road,
Yeah,
and this is the easement and the other property's road, and we're gonna essentially ask for a site plan so we can understand drainage, we're not gonna understand them both together because they're two separate pieces of property.
yes.
So
correct.
somehow when we look at this as a commission, we should be aware that these roads and drainage are so close together, we're gonna look at them independently, but I think they're gonna.
Are they though? Cause aren't they doing an easement is maybe a shared driveway?
No.
No, this is the one for this piece of property on this little strip. And then this is the easement between these two people so
Oh,
that
'cause-
this
okay.
person can get here. And I'm worried that we might look at just this little strip and not look at that little strip.
Yeah, I think it's a great point, but I think what we can, first one in.
Right, no, I just wanted to make sure that we see that as a group now because we're gonna see it in two separate.
The guidelines for stormwater management require that you are able to manage the stormwater on your own property. So even with a narrow entrance, it is a requirement that whoever takes on this lot can manage the infiltration of stormwater.
Before you even hit
back
the
Not
into the
hitting
ground.
the next.
You cannot
Got
give point source off.
Right, no, I just wanted to make sure,
So
because
it
that looks
will-
like a lot of impermeable
I mean,
space that we're
granted,
creating really
in-
close to each other.
in real life, luckily, this is 50 feet wide.
75 even, so
So there'll be an opportunity for bioswales or anything of the like. In the event that the commission ever wants to go on a site walk, I highly recommend them.
Yeah, we were gonna look at things separately and I was
yeah, you're
nervous.
Yeah,
talking
no,
a
it's a
12-foot
great-
driveway and a
Part of it.
75-foot strip, there's plenty of room to
Right.
put,
You can show me the
infiltration.
Perfect, just wanted to be sure.
Yeah.
That was my only other issue. Thank you.
Yeah, we gave plenty of room there for the,
Great.
And I see that you're showing swales and
Yes.
just based on your expertise as an engineer, that's sort of what you're recommending.
if you look at the soils data that from our test
Yeah.
holes, it was pure sand and gravel pretty much and really good draining soils. So it doesn't need a whole lot more than that. A nice swale on the contour so that it doesn't, will give it
Yeah.
plenty of
So can sheet
infiltration.
flow get off?
Exactly, and put enough of them so it's not rushing down the driveway. Basically, you just put enough swales off the side that run with the contours. It'll infiltrate in with this good soils. They're really nice soils out there. So here's the soils information for the entire site too. You got here, you'll find sandy looms and very stony soils. So those are all well drained, extremely stone soils.
And at what point will that shared access way easement deed be prepared?
We're having the lawyer write it up as soon as we get approval. We'll prepare that before we file it. It'll all get filed. Rachel.
Do we have a copy of the deed for this property?
I did not write a copy of the deed.
But you have one that you.
Yeah,
supply us?
I do have one, yes.
Let's make sure we get that in.
Yeah. Yes, it's a lot of work. It's from the 282. We need.
Just because it's in the required section,
Yeah.
that's all.
I'll send you a copy of that.
I'm skipping ahead, but I did have from last meeting, we were discussing the fire protection.
That's my last question. Let's go right through it.
No, I don't want you to
No,
know.
no,
Get in there.
We'd like to
I'm
hear you
not
articulate.
stealing your thunder. No, I'm just
I want
curious
you to
if we,
do it.
We discussed a little bit about that, but I didn't know what we had decided on.
Yeah, these sites really don't lend themselves to putting ponds or anything on them. They are
Yeah.
all, sloping pretty good, so there's not really a way to provide fire protection ponds on any of these.
So you'd have to do the fee in lieu. Or some sort of sprinkler tank.
Here's where you
Hydrant.
covered it.
So ponds, fire tanks, dry hydrants,
Sprinklers. or
residential
fee in lieu.
sprinklers, or a fee in lieu.
Two prints and
You are really on for.
Can't buy it, you can't find it.
I said I didn't want to jump.
So any idea which one of those options your client may be most inclined to go with?
No, I will have to verify with them. Probably fee in lieu would be my guess, but I want to check with them before speaking. Yeah, just for certain. One of them will.
My thought would be in the event of development to also work with the fire marshal because they're the expert to get a sense. I mean, granted, it is a subdivision requirement, but I would lean on their expertise
Yeah,
because they
It could be
would
very different
understand.
depending on how these are developed too. And where
They're going to understand the length of the hose in the town's apparatus and the closest potential
water source.
water source.
Right.
So they're going to be the best.
It's across the street about 100 yards.
Yeah, as I say, it's not. I think there's one right
The
on
pond's across Aspen Hill.
across from on Music Mountain, right? Or-
No, it's on Aspen Hill. It's right there. It's in the woods about about 100 yards in.
Okay.
So just make sure the owner knows, may wholly or partially waive the requirement of construction of these facilities, provided the subdivider deposits funds in a dedicated town account for fire protection facilities. So maybe it could be something like that.
Yeah,
Or
it's
any
the-
extra hose,
Right. Something.
or the needed things to develop.
Because if there's one that's right on Aspen Hill, it's really
So it's not,
no need for another pond necessarily.
it's by no means, a big hurdle.
That's it.
It's just a box that would need to be.
checked off.
And then I'm assuming that the proposed language with this open space is going to be in the upcoming Schedule A deed.
Yes, it'll be for each one will have its restrictions on this.
I would just make sure to align the language with section 4 of the regulations that basically says open space shall be left in a natural state except for improvements as or maintenance expressly permitted or required by the commission. Open space shall not be graded, cleared, or used as a depository for brush stumps or
Yeah, we'll take it right from
building
here.
or debris. So I would just make sure that that's in there.
Yes.
You see what it is?
So I would just take the actual language from the dedication of land, section
Okay.
4.05 within the deed so that it harmonizes with what the commission requires.
I
So,
was just making notes, thank you,
yeah, you're
because our list seems to be growing. If you're missing some, but between all of us, hopefully you're.
we'll get there.
Commissioners, anything further? Janelle, you have all the time in the world. Do you want to review anything else?
Thanks for putting me on the spot.
I'm giving you all the time. No pressure.
If you want to go to any comment from the public,
That's
and
what I
then
was
I'll
gonna-
gather,
my
I'll gather
suggestion.
my thoughts
Yeah.
and write my notes. and
Because
then-
I'm sure we have someone from the public who wants to say something. She's not paying attention, but I'm sure
Any
she wants to
public
say-
comments on this or questions?
She's raising her hand, she's flailing around. Yes, I think we have public comment.
Okay, I just have two questions, really. Keith, I thought I heard you say something about the easement sticking close to the old wood road, but then I heard a measurement of like 75 feet wide by 500 feet long. So those wood
Yeah.
roads are pretty tiny.
No, that's not the width of the road itself. That is
The easement,
the easement, yes.
why is that easement so large?
Just to allow for drainage and things like that, and when the construction of the road.
So is the roadway something
not-
less, but the easement area is larger?
Correct. The road would be about, or the driveway, I'm sorry, would be about 12 feet wide with pull-offs. And so the easements are always much wider than the roads themselves, allow during the construction and allow drainage and all those things.
Okay, and why does it need to be so deep, 500?
It's to the point where the rear lot opens up.
It's where it opens up, okay. And then with the reconfiguration of the lot sizes, the ones that were actually made smaller, so Torrington area has approved those as building lots now? For the ones that were made smaller. Okay,
Correct.
that's all I have.
Thank you, Alan.
Janelle needs a little
Thank
more
you.
time. Do you have a little more?
Thank you so much. One thing, so because we are dealing with an interior lot, I'm also in the zoning regulations. So the commission approving an interior lot, you have to show the access way at all points is 50 feet. At all widths, so I believe you're showing that by that
Yes,
75.
Yeah,
Okay, and I'm just noting that for the record.
Yeah. it's wider. We want wider than required.
Okay. And the open space is in perpetuity?
Correct.
Okay. Sweet again.
Also, for accepting the deeds.
Yeah.
The dedication of land within the deed for.
Yep. Same.
I still feel like I'm missing one thing we talked about.
Tried to answer all your questions last time, yeah, so.
I know,
Pretty good.
okay, we're getting there.
So, okay, I'm sorry, I'm gonna
Yep,
ask this
go ahead.
question. From this point to this point is how wide?
It's about 150 feet. It's, no, let's see, let me go back to the page of the actual dimensions on it.
And you said an inch is 150 feet.
So this
It's
is
100.
Oh, it's 100?
208 feet total along the curve here, so it's about 200 feet.
Wide 100 for
Just
11
because
feet.
Got it.
really, it's not just one interior lot, right? It's really two interior lots.
Well, this
This
one,
one does, this lot does not,
it has the 200 feet of frontage because this one's an easement across this
Yeah.
one. Or go back to their page here. This one here is an easement across this one, so this one actually has the 200 feet of
okay,
frontage.
Cause
So it meets the frontage
that's
requirement.
100 and that's 100 there.
Yeah, but this lot owns the underlying land there, so they have 200 feet of frontage, so they meet the. So it's not another. It's only one interior lot.
Back to 604. I just don't want to repeat it. That was truck. So go to. The, no, feet.
So this
So
in each individual sheet is what I would view as the water report.
meaning you're showing where the well would be.
You're actually showing, so it shows here, but what's even better or more helpful as far as the feasibility goes, AKA water report, because there were actually due diligence in the field that they showed the flow factor, and they're showing how many bedrooms each lot could potentially support.
Okay.
So I look at the water report as being on each of these sheets.
Okay. I know
There's
I
the
didn't see that
There's the
before.
perk rate, and then there's also,
we show the well on here.
so
Yeah, because it's
you're
just
also showing how many bedrooms.
right, and the needed water, so I would follow the water report.
Right.
Yeah, that's what I would.
And Torrington Area Health looks at all that kind of one, even though they
I think
didn't,
it's kind
their
of
language
clear.
in there did not kind of spell it out. They look at anytime they approve or give a feasibility for a septic, they're making sure it's feasible in all their aspects that they look
Okay.
at. That's why we include the wells on the plans. These are the plans we sent them.
Yeah. Very good. I just think you a little bit unclear, I think, question.
Oh, and Chairman, just administratively for the record, I did put this notice in the paper twice as required, and I did receive the notices of the receipt of notices of abutters, which will be added to.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And we have copies of your application at Torrington Area Health and this.
It's their letter.
Then there's other. Take you vacation.
Yeah. I'm not doing this very often. Just when I come to town.
It's just you.
I make you guys work every time, yeah.
Oh, Matt, it is 150 feet. 1 inch, 150.
So it's, yeah, scale.
On
basis.
scale.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you good?
Mhm.
Any other further questions from the commission members? Comments? Any more from the public?
Nope, she's shaking her head no.
With that, a motion to close the public hearing at 7:16.
One question before we close.
Yeah.
Do we want to keep it open to get the rest of the information, or can we get the information that we're asking for once the meeting's closed?
I'm gonna throw a question straight back at all the commissioners. If you feel that you do not have the information that you need to render a decision, I would recommend you keep the hearing open. If you feel comfortable that you have all the information that you need to make a decision, then it's up to you. It's always up to you as the commission.
That was my one question.
Yeah.
Do we feel that if we put stipulations or conditions on this, that are we okay with that as a commission? Or do we feel as a group we would want to keep the thing open, have him come back again to present that to us?
So my thoughts are this, I think I have a pretty good list. Only thing even remotely, I think that isn't just kind of clerical is the fire protection. But if we, I think you have to meet one of 4 or 5 criteria, but as long as you meet any one of those, and you have to get to subdivision. And we have, as a commission, need to, before the Mylar is signed and filed, we need to act on it once again to review it. So I think that we would be well covered to move ahead,
Great.
but I'm totally open.
Oh, no, I just wanted someone else to say that they're okay. It was more of what
I think I'm comfortable because we've had a lot of cracks up with.
Perfect. I just wanted
We're getting
to.
better every time.
I didn't have an objection, I just wanted to make sure I wasn't the only.
To our meeting.
Come on back again,
Like bring something else to you next time, but not this one again.
but
Yeah.
that's how I feel.
No, I think that's great. I just wanted someone else to say that.
Anybody else with comment or opinions on that? Sounds good. Hearing none, motion to close at 7:19.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second,
Irene, all in favor?
aye.
Opposed? Abstained?
Second eye. Yeah.
Thank you.
Mark too.
All right. Let's see, what can we talk about next? Oh, I know. How about the re-subdivision? Beaver Mountain Farm lots 4A and 11A.
Do we have to call our regular meeting to order before we go into that or?
I think when, the way that we do the agenda now, I think when we call it the initial order,
Fine.
one just rolls right
Right,
into the next.
just wanted to be sure.
Great question.
I guess my real question during this is how do we make sure that conditions and these stipulations that we have are met, number one, and then number two, I think we need to agree on the different stipulations that we're trying to put forth.
Love those questions. I think, the way that I interpret your first question, I think before we sign and file the Mylar, which would make it an official re-subdivision, it's still not granted.
Great,
So I think that gives us a last and final.
perfect.
I think some of the stipulations that you're probably gonna want for when they get developed, so you may wanna,
Right.
I think that
And
might be the
that's-
question that he's asking too.
No, that's the second part. The first part, yeah, no, that was my first part.
And the next part, the second layer is when the lot sells and somebody comes in for, okay, something I didn't put down here. How do we word that?
Site plan review.
Site
Do we want to do a site plan review of trees and drainage for the individual lots? When they come in and not just a building, permit, want a full site plan.
Not just
trees,
a zoning permit.
Not just a
trees,
zoning permit.
drainage, house
So I
location.
wouldn't limit yourself with a list. I would just say you,
We
Site
want a
plan
site
review.
plan.
you want site
Yeah.
plan review, and then maybe say in particular trees because
drainage.
it's that subdivision
Trees
and
and
then
drainage.
drainage.
Yep.
But not to limit yourself, because
Yeah.
then a very literal applicant and attorney could say you just wanted to see the trees.
I have on there the correction of the topo, full topo, even though it's pretty there, just to clean it up so we have full lines. That's gonna help us when we do a site plan review. Fire protection, whatever that decision is made by his client. The deed, a copy of the deed to include with the package. And the dedication of conserved, I'm sorry, what do we call it, open land?
Deeded open space.
Deeded open space, recorded on the deed as well.
Also the right of way.
So
And the right of way.
You need the right.
I have a few, just to rework it a little bit.
Okay,
Just a few thoughts. So the commission, that you are able to review the Mylars before they're signed, stamped and signed by the chair and then filed. And then at that moment, that's when you have the opportunity to review the deed of the open space, the 75-foot right of way in favor of lot 11C, and then the open space deeds.
so in other words, don't really necessarily need to call it as a condition because if it's not met, we just won't receive it. Is that kind of what I'm hearing?
So it's within your, so if you go to prior to the filing of approved plan,
Mhm.
it does say that you have to submit to the town all required easements for drainage, access, utility, or other purposes. And then also it says that the final plans shall be submitted to the commission for signatures, to allow adequate time for them. And it says no plan may be signed without authorization by majority vote of planning and zoning commission to endorse the record subdivision map when all conditions of approval have been met. So that's sort of nice because that gives you there's no signing of the map until the conditions have been met. So it's
So,
sort of
but
your,
we still list out the conditions.
Yes.
it helps,
In the-
yeah.
And that way it
yeah,
helps us just to not miss a
Totally,
box.
totally, but just so you can package it.
Okay.
Well, and we can also say that we wanted these requirements and then these requirements were met.
And I mean, part of the reason why we're here right now is because there was no Mylar filed. So there
Let's take
was,
another crack.
there was no re-subdivision.
Oh, sure. Yeah, I kept saying re-subdivision, but I guess it's a subdivision.
No, it's a re-subdivision because it was subdivided in the eighties.
Yeah.
In 81. it
Music
was all
Mountain Farm or
divided.
something, yeah.
It was all Music Mountain Farm.
Got it. Okay. Any other comments? Discussion points?
Do we want to list them now?
Think, well, we kind of made a list. Do we want to, do you want to take a crack at it? Motion?
Well, that's what I was wondering. Do you want to do them one at a time? Do we want to do it as a full motion?
I think you'll have to vote up in the waiver requests as well.
Yeah, that's going to be part of our requirements as well. So I figured we would talk about the requirements
So I just
first.
need a free.
Because
The hearing is closed and we're actually having a discussion on this commission.
yeah, no, we're getting there. But I was more asking, should we make the conditions first or do we want to do because they're part of the waivers anyways.
Yeah, well, the waiver request, I think that we, that I remember is from when we were open, so it's about this, it was another, that was a waiver request.
So just to be formal, because there were 7 waiver requests to go through each one and get a vote. Will
Okay,
just be helpful, but your memory serves you. The first one was that drawing scale.
okay. So why don't we just go through these waivers now, and then we could move them together.
Great.
So the first one, does anybody have a question on what we're voting on? It's about the scale being reduced from 1 inch equals 40 feet to 1 inch equals 150 feet, I believe.
Yes, it is.
Right, very good, yeah. Testing.
I'll make a motion to accept that waiver.
Is there a second?
A second.
Tim seconds. Any discussion on that waiver? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Abstained?
What was the motion? I'm sorry.
For waiver number 1,
Which is what?
which is the drawing scale from 1 inch equals 40 feet to 1 inch equals 150 feet.
And Janelle's gonna make you a copy of all these. Come on.
Okay, so I'll just number them and then
Yes.
I can.
So being
That's better.
unanimous, we met our 3/4 vote.
Good. Number 2 is index map,
This will make
Thank
our
you.
lives easier.
showing the entire area is covered under this application on one sheet, not dividing the area into multiple sheets.
Easy.
Careful. I don't know how to make that motion, but
So
Yeah.
I make a motion to waive the index map.
Yeah, there you go.
That's it,
That's
right?
it, yeah.
That's a
I
really
think
good
that
one.
meets it.
Okay.
Is motions made? Is there a second?
A second or two.
Tim will second it. In discussion, does anybody or does everybody understand that, or does anybody want further clarification?
Is this index mapping just for our purpose? Or is there something that's special about the index mapping
So-
that's needed?
It's because of the drawing scale waiver, the applicant was able to show the entire subdivision on one sheet and then went into each individual sheet, so they didn't need the index map to show like match lines and a bigger sheet. So
Okay,
it's more
this
of like,
lines up with this. Lines
it's
up with
more of
this.
like the
Okay.
nature of the way that he was presenting the subdivision has led him to request these.
So you don't need an index map to go to each of these pages.
It would have if it was 40 feet, because we would have had 6
Because
pages
it's
for
such a
that
large
one
parcel.
big sheet.
Now it all fits on
Okay.
one, so you don't need to exit.
Right, but now that there's like 6 sheets here,
Yeah, we don't.
we don't need okay.
No. different index.
Okay.
It would be an
Okay.
index if we broke up that one big sheet. of
Yes, yes, okay,
Into,
okay, yeah,
by 40 feet, we would have had 6 pieces.
okay,
And then you need an index to show you
Each
which
page
corner
would be
goes
6
with which
pages.
corner of
right,
which.
yeah, there you go. Got it.
Any further questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, abstain, unanimous, therefore it meets the requirement. Item 3. Identification of trees, greater than 18-inch diameter in areas of proposed improvements or clearing. Does everybody kind of, I'll just redo it. We're requesting a waiver from this requirement because all houses, driveways, septic systems, and wells shown in the site plan submitted with this application do not represent actual proposed construction at this time, but instead are shown to demonstrate the feasibility of building on the proposed lots. Future development of the proposed lots would require application for a zoning permit, and trees would be located at this time when the owners of the lots created in this re-subdivision have selected an area on the lot for development.
I think we have to take out the word zoning permit in there and put site plan.
Well, I think without a condition, the lot wouldn't necessarily be subject to a site plan, but if you condition the approval.
So that's what we do. We do a condition
Yeah.
on the waiver.
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't know how we
No,
were
it's-
trying to change it.
Yeah.
Got it.
But if you make each lot in the re-subdivision subject to site plan approval, it might give you ease in granting that waiver, if that makes sense. So knowing that the intention of the commission is to require a site plan for future development, therefore you are comfortable with granting a waiver.
So when I make a motion, am I putting the condition within that motion of accepting that waiver?
It sounds like we're being thorough this evening, so.
Well, but I want to make sure that we have all these in line because these are requirements we're
I think
trying
it's a good
to.
spot to do.
Yeah.
So it's not, we don't just.
I just didn't know if we were doing all those conditions later, or do you tie them to the waiver?
I think do it now, because that way we're not approving a waiver and then kind of conditioning it later.
Great. So I make a motion to approve waiver number 3, the identification of trees. But I would like to make sure that we put a condition on the acceptance of the re-subdivision, as we want site plans for development
On each lot.
on each lot, or development of each property. Is that fair enough?
I think it meets the muster. Is there a second on that?
And do I need to make sure that there's tree ID? Is that the key to that
That is
waiver? So
particular
the site plan needs to have tree identification.
for trees greater than 18-inch in diameter.
Great, perfect. That's my motion.
Did you get that, Patty?
I don't know who's, yeah, I did, believe it or not.
Me, I made the motion.
Who's second?
No one yet.
No one.
We're still trying to get my words out.
Is there a second on that finely worded motion?
I will second.
Matt, second. Any discussion? Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstained, so carried. Road design, this application does not propose the construction of a public road, pretty straightforward. Does somebody want to make a motion to make a waiver for road design based on that fact?
I have a question about that. My one question would be, does the easement have anything to do with road design?
No.
No,
That's
great.
right.
So then I make a motion to waive road design on the re-subdivision of Aspen Drive.
Is there a second on that?
I'll second.
Eileen? Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Abstained? So carries.
Great.
Drainage design. This application's drainage report addresses drainage design with respect to the driveways, but not to the individual dwellings because no immediate construction of any dwellings is proposed with this application. I made a nice note here, site plan, which I guess means that would be covered at such time that we do site plan approval for each lot. If I do remember why I wrote that.
And was there actually drainage marked on the driveways on that? I didn't
A
think
little
I
bit,
saw
some
it.
infiltration
There,
swales here and
are we
there.
gonna say that's enough? Cause I didn't
No.
really see a lot of that.
Well, I
I
think,
would look at the individual development, because this is all hypothetical.
Got it. I'm fine. It says here that it's there and it's not.
it's there, but not in super great detail because there's not super good
Perfect.
details to be had. It'd be an exercise.
So I make a motion to accept the waiver of the drain design on the re-subdivision of Aspen Hill Drive. But I would like to put a condition on the need for a site plan on the development of each lot and have drainage be represented on that new site plan. Is that right?
Mm.
That's what we're asking?
Mhm.
Okay.
Is there a second on that? Second. Kim, any discussion?
Yeah,
Yep.
one thought. Do we have concerns about if they come back with a site plan and it has drainage on it, and then, that, like, is there, trying to figure out the best way to word this, but it's one thing to look at each parcel one at a time, right? And look at, okay, well, this is how much water this parcel is going to handle, and this is how much water is that parcel is going to handle. But when you think about 200 feet of driveway, basically, or 200 x wide piece of land, taking all the water for 2 driveways, is the drainage going to be enough? Like, if we look at it piecemeal versus looking at it as a whole, I'm just a little, having an inside lot myself, I'm a little concerned that breaking this down for drainage, it just may not add up to what really needs to be there. That's my concern.
Yeah, that's a great question, and I understand it completely, and that's, that in my experience, that falls back on the engineer to maintain it, because it is that property's responsibility to take a look about the surrounding property. They don't deal with surrounding property because they have to contain their own water, but they have to keep it on that lot. With that being said, I know exactly where he's coming from, but it's that design that has to take all that into account to meet the muster of that storm design. But it's the same thing, right? Whatever's down gradient, so it's not bad, but if I clear 50 acres here, I've now increased my watershed down. And then if I clear 50 acres down gradient, right now I really have 100 acres. But
Yeah, that's why I asked that question about the two driveways being together. And when Janelle said you look at them individually because they can't let the water go onto the other property, I think that was kind of our answer. That's how we look at it as a whole, because they have to contain it.
it definitely can be an issue.
But I think it's something that we're going to have to look at. And the drainage, when they come back to us, will be very important.
Yeah.
So when all that drainage comes to the end of the driveways at Aspen Hill Drive, then where's it go?
There's culverts,
So all that water is gonna dump into that one culvert.
Depending on the
depending on how they design it. and build
So because in zoning and planning, each individual lot is sort of a self-contained unit. You think of it as like the residential unit. It's up to each individual lot, even though we are well aware water systems work in concert with other water systems, and what's happening uphill is going to have an impact on what's happening downhill. Stormwater management guidelines require that whatever increased velocity stormwater may have because of introduction of impervious surfaces due to the nature of development and changes of grade and changes of driveway, that the engineers will look at all of that interaction of roof drains and site pipes and all of that to understand how they can maintain runoff on the property. We do get many 100-year storms, especially as of late, where we're getting a bit more volume than we're used to. But the new stormwater guidelines upgraded so that we're now looking at these 100-year storms. I think it's like different measurements for the water capacity and the storage, and that's all on each individual lot to be able to maintain and manage.
So
So they're
that-
much more sophisticated storm management drainage plans.
So the disbursement is gonna be wide. It's not
It's
all
not gonna
coming
be
into one.
Point source is no longer like taking a pipe and pumping water through a pipe into a culvert is no longer best practices. I don't think it ever was, but now, and especially on large sites, it's looking at dispersing water in various methods and methodologies. And luckily, we're moving more in the way of low impact development, where
Mhm.
it's more about bioretention and making sure that we actually are mimicking some things that nature already does for us, allow things to soak in like a sponge, allow things to
Gotcha.
infiltrate,
Okay.
allow sometimes just like riprap swales can really help your surface water slow down because you're slowing the velocity by creating more surface for the water to sort of perk
Okay.
through. So that's all in the nature of what that engineer is going to have to be tasked with when we get to site development. And I not look forward to, but I anticipate looking at relatively sophisticated plans for these lots because of the slopes and because of the difficulty with sort of the driveways that we'll be looking at.
Okay.
So that'll come down to those site plans at that time. And they're required when they get to that point that there are drainage calcs of this 100-year flood moment in the event that like the skies open and as much rain as possible comes all at a time, which we're seeing a lot of lately. And sort of those catch basin drains should actually be sort of like the last resort is that you're putting water in your public right of way. But it's there
Mhm.
in the event.
Oh, I was just thinking of going onto the road and going downhill,
And so.
refilling that fireball.
There's a design given and there's really high concern. I know at this level, we could hire an independent consultant. I think at the site plan approval, we could also hire an independent consultant to verify the engineering plan presented to us, if we think that that's a concern. And that cost of that is burdened on the applicant.
That's great.
So we do have future cracks at it when it becomes more real. We get a more realistic design. So we are kind of protected at that level, and that, might be something, in another re-subdivision development that we approved, and maybe perhaps this one as well, if it's beyond what we think that we're comfortable putting our blessing on because of these reasons expanded on by Gene.
Sounds good.
I have no idea where we left off. Do we have a?
We have to vote.
Did we have a
Yeah, we
motion
haven't-
and a second?
yeah, we had a motion,
and
yeah.
a second we were discussing.
I
I'm glad-
interrupted the flow of the question.
So we were
No,
in
it's all good.
drainage, so
They're
number 5.
good. Drainage.
So it's a vote now.
Okay. Any other comments, questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? So moved. Moving right along speedily to number 6, utility design. It is not known whether future owners of the proposed lots will actually develop the lots or where exactly in the lots they would choose to construct a dwelling. Future development would require zoning application and the utilities would be designed when it is known exactly where the owners of the proposed lots intend to develop. This would kind of go along your same condition, Stephen?
Well, that was my question. We only talked about the site plans for 3, 5, and 7. We didn't talk about it for 6. Do we want it as part of the site plan?
It would just make sense at that
Right.
point, in my opinion.
So I make a proposal to accept the waiver for utility design, with the condition that the utility design is part of the site plan. Or we require a site plan to see utility design, to review utility design. So the condition is we would require a site plan to review the utility design
Per lot.
per lot. Yes, please.
Is there a second there?
Second.
Kim, is there any discussion on that? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? So moved. Condition, waiver request number 7, construction details and dimensions. All houses, driveways, septic systems, and wells shown on the site plan submitted with SAP do not represent actual proposed construction at this time, but instead are shown to demonstrate the feasibility of building on the proposed lots. Future development of the proposed lots would require application for a zoning permit, and at that time, the applicants would provide the necessary construction details when the nature and extent of the proposed development is known.
I make a motion to accept waiver number 7, the construction details and dimensions, but would put a condition of a site plan to cover the construction detailed dimensions of house, driveway, septics, and wells on each lot. I just want to make sure you wrote it all down. Said more. Right, I think that's fine.
Second on that,
Second that one too.
Kim?
Yeah.
Any discussion? Matt?
I just want to be clear in my mind, but the saying they do not represent the clearing that's been done, how much more is happening? Like, are these driveways just coming to a stop at a certain point? Because
That's a great question.
there's already been clearing done. So you want a waiver, but you've already cleared. So what is this for
So-
house? I get the houses, the septic systems, the well, but driveways are going to be put in prior, from what I'm hearing. So I might be confused on something.
Well, I think this is just, the construction is not about clearing necessarily, it's just about the details of how they're gonna constructed, where they're proposed, how they're gonna deal with where the septic system's gonna go, where this is,
Not the initial.
not the initial clearing.
Yeah. And they're not doing the full driveways either.
No, and that's what I wanted to
Yes, they're
confirm.
not doing that.
No, it's
Then that's it,
Really
yeah.
good question, and that's, you know, that's kind of why I asked Keith a little bit where the clearing is, even though we talked about it last time, just to get.
And I know
it
they're
on
following the roads
official-
for the most, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Just to get it, because I know that there has been work in there, but as property owners, they do have the right to do that. But
No,
it's-
totally.
It's something that we have to kind of take into consideration, I feel.
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure I understood this
And
part of the 7.
Chairman, to Matt's point, you may want a condition that no clearing shall take place prior to site plan approval. Cause our regs
Ooh.
don't really get into
We can do
tree
that.
clearing,
Oh, I like that.
and it often happens, and it's one of those things where if like,
No, because we have that other stipulation of the diameter of trees. So
Yeah.
no,
cause
how can we
it's like
put that in there
too.
So.
It's a condition.
as
we-
just a condition?
We
Okay.
have a motion and a second. So now I'm gonna accept your amended motion.
Or do we just do it as a separate condition? No, it
The
has to be
separate
done
condition.
here.
No, we're working on waivers right now.
Right, that's what I'm saying. So
When
this is a
you get
condition we
to-
put
Oh, you want to
later.
put it
When
in
you
the
get to the
conditions.
conditions of
Of
approval.
approval.
I was just gonna throw it in.
In
because we've
about
been doing.
2 minutes.
Several more minutes.
Quick.
Then
Alright.
that would be
So
my
as long as,
suggestion.
okay, we'll put it there then. We'll put
Yes,
it in
let's
that-
keep it separate.
We'll put it in that jar.
Yeah.
Okay,
Cause it's not a waiver.
It's not part of the waiver ultimately.
well, it's a condition of the waiver.
It's a condition.
But
of
It's a
approval.
condition of
Because that doesn't
approval.
ask about that.
Oh, right.
Yes,
It's a
I agree
condition of
with you.
approval. Yeah,
Great point. Any further?
sorry to send you.
No,
Question?
no, that's great.
So are
Um,
we
you know.
adding?
No,
No,
No.
just what I originally
Okay.
said.
Thanks.
hearing none, all in favor?
I
Aye. Opposed, abstained, so moved.
Great.
And then.
That's the end of the
Fire
records.
protection, we're not waiving, we don't know what we're doing.
You're conditioning.
For conditioning. Okay, nice. So that's the that section.
So
the-
waivers are,
The waivers are complete, so now we go to accepting or not the re-subdivision.
So it was accepted when you received the application and set the hearing, so it would be
Approved with, yes. Right.
since we're being so thorough this
We are
evening.
so
We're being so thorough this
We're
evening.
impressing Keith like he's not.
So I make a motion to approve the Aspen Hill Drive re-subdivision as present, or do I need to say lot 4A and 11A, or do I need to say the new lots?
No, that's good.
That's enough? So lot 4A and lot 11A on Aspen Hill Drive. Right, that's enough, and then I can say with conditions,
With
right?
conditions.
So, and with conditions, and the conditions are, ready? Fire prevention,
Protection.
oh, sorry, fire protection. And how do I say that? They want to do a fee in lieu.
I would
We
think
don't know that.
So we don't know, so-
Meeting our fire protection,
fire protection in accordance with section 4.14 of the subdivision regulation.
Okay. 4.14. Okay. The second is a site plan, or can I put them all together for trees? And do I need to put the stipulation of the diameter? Does that all need to be in this part,
I don't think we have to put it here because we already have it in the other.
in the other regs? Or in the waiver
Do you agree with
itself?
that? No, would you rather it be spelled out again?
I feel like we're
Yeah, we
being
noted
so
it in the
thorough this
waiver.
evening
It's,
that we might as well stick with that. I would say
That was number,
site plans, and then to indicate existing conditions such as,
Trees greater than
Yeah.
18 inches in diameter.
Yeah.
Okay, so that needs to be part of the motion. So it's with condition, so a site plan for trees. Identification of greater than 18 inches in diameter. Marked on the site plan, or site plan width.
yeah, I would say,
Size and area involved.
I would say site plan, like, so the conditions are your fire protection, site plan requirement for the development of each individual lot, including tree identification on each individual lot of existing conditions of the tree identification with that caliper, 18 inches. Just so it's
Clear.
like super redundant
No, that's
and
fine.
clear.
And my question tied into that is because it's a site plan, are we adding drainage, or am I doing a separate one for drainage?
Yep, I would, you
Because
can,
it's a separate waiver, that's what I'm asking. If it's a separate on the waiver, can I do it all in one site plan requirement?
Yeah.
Great. So the other site plan requirement would be drainage of each individual property in design with the driveway, should I put?
in accordance
in a-
with Connecticut stormwater guidelines.
Okay, in accordance with Connecticut stormwater. I like that, it's even better. It's like more cloud. And construction details and dimensions of all houses, driveways, septic systems, and wells.
Can you say and other improvements?
Yeah, I did, those were in the waivers, I will
Yeah.
put that at the end, and other improvements.
okay, so do that again, all houses, well,
Driveways, septic systems and wells. And all other
improvement.
improvements. And those are our three, or sorry, our fourth, oh wait, we didn't do
We have
utility design, one more.
Mm-hmm.
And utility design, a site plan for utility design, whether owners construction of dwelling, yeah, just utility design's fine.
For each
For
individual.
each
Definitely
individual
include
lot.
that singing.
It's been a long day. I haven't eaten all day. It's just been one of those
Oh, boy.
days. That's not site plan, so I was gonna make this part one stipulation and then I was gonna move on to the next condition. So that's all one condition based on all we want from site plans.
And that'll be.
Now, the next condition,
Right. Okay.
those are all site plan
Run it.
conditions.
Patty's gonna run away.
She's earning her
She's
keep.
running away.
And then condition number 2
She's like, yeah, Patty.
is the open space deeded restrictions in perpetuity as stated in section 4.05 of our regulations. Or as met by 4.05 or
It's required, but
requirement of 4.05. So that's number 2. Or number 3. And number 4 is the full topographic map of the full re-subdivision. Because I want to see it on the full map, not individual maps. But do I also want it on individual maps as well? Because it sort of was on there, but it sort of wasn't.
Sheet 3.
Okay. So I'd like that to be another requirement. The interior lot needs a 50-foot wide and 75-foot long easement. Is that part of a condition or not?
We'll have to,
Is the easement part of a condition or not?
So what's nice is that catch, we cannot file plans
unless it's on there.
unless it's on there. So topo and the deed for your right of way and the deed for open space in accordance with section 6.07. So you, for the record, you might want to condition in accordance with 6.07, all of the conditions will be met, and that's what's required before Mylars get filed. So that's going to be your required easements for drainage, access, utility, and open space, and then it's going to be your completed map with the topo. And it will
So conditions for what did you say it was
6.07.
So it's how do I say that in a
So it's the
motion?
procedural requirements prior to filing approved plans.
What?
Still don't know how to actually
In
say
accordance,
What?
in accordance with the procedural requirements
so in accordance with the procedural requirements for the this is all the
of subdivision
of the subdivision.
as stated in 6.07.
Okay.
And then that's your easements, drainage, utilities, topo. And then the final plans, what's in there is that the final plans are going to come before the commission. So that Mylar and the deeds come before you.
Right. And I don't think we put deed in there. Do we need to, do we wanna?
Should be covered on 6.
I thought we
Right.
no open
We did,
space
so I just
deed.
wanted to know, okay, right. So that
Should
sort
we
of,
just run through that one more time?
so that is for the approval of the Aspen Hill Drive re-subdivision with said conditions. And are we sure we got all the conditions?
You did on my list.
Anybody else have any others that we might have missed?
I don't think so.
Because that's all I wrote down. Okay.
Is there a second on that finally ordered motion? And you don't need a second if you can repeat it.
Hey, I'm out.
Second on that motion,
I'll second it.
Eileen. Any further discussion or questions? Hearing none, we'll do individual vote. Stephen,
Aye.
Tim,
Aye.
Eileen,
Aye.
Kathy,
I,
Greg, aye, Matt,
Aye.
Mark,
Aye.
Perfect.
unanimous.
Thank you for coming back.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Keith.
Thank you for your patience.
No problem.
Will you anticipate those Mylars?
Yes.
So moving along,
Hi.
thank you all. I know that was a lot of work,
No,
but I think
that-
we're getting pretty
that-
good on these re-subdivisions and,
If anything, we scare applicants away from doing them.
is that our?
We can use that second
I'm
book.
just
We
kidding,
don't
that's
use
all
that
it's got.
second book very often.
That's in our P O C D, it's all right. Great, now we focus here. Old business, Village Center parking plan, no action, solar committee update, no action. Old firehouse sale, asking some questions, but no update to share.
Who's asking questions?
People,
There's questions being asked.
It sounds typical.
people.
there's discussion in people, all right?
People, good answer.
Moving along to
Very
dark
thorough.
skies, as Stephen alluded earlier, some great news. Do you want to?
Yeah, so we had the June meeting, so I couldn't bring it up in the June meeting, but I went to the May meeting of the Board of Ed to present our Dark Sky Initiative. It was met very openly and warmly. Adam Sure, he's on the Board of Ed, said he loves the idea, he's all for it, and he will be our point person if we have any issues with Kellogg.
So we do have an issue.
I will see him on Sunday. You tell me what to tell him.
Yeah, it's that.
The light out front
light-
still? Okay, I'll talk to him.
Unless I'm missing something.
No. He
Still
didn't do anything.
We've been
talking about
that for a while.
Yeah, he didn't do anything. He just said he would.
He'd be
So
point.
I will do that on Sunday. I'll see him on
Love
Sunday.
for that
So what
to be-
is the light? It's one over the main entrance?
Exactly where? I might be able to
It's in
see
the
it
front.
now.
It's in the front that sort of casts the shadow a little longer
Towards
than
the
it needs.
road.
Yeah,
It shoots right at.
it just shoots all the way across. It just is a. It just needs that little bit of a shield across the top of it.
So it's
Oh.
adjustment or
It's
I would
probably
say a
different-
shield more than an adjustment. So I don't think you can
so
turn
just to
that
keep
down.
it, just to
Yeah,
keep it.
just
So
want to put a
it's-
little like metal shield on the top of it would probably be the easiest way.
We
to
have that
fix it.
great printout of different
Light.
night.
Yes.
It's in the red.
Yeah.
So if they
Yeah.
wanna
Yeah, I'll talk to
refer
him.
that.
The gas station has used tinfoil.
See, there is ways around this.
In my film world, there's something like black wrap, and it's
Well,
heavy duty foil that's been painted flat black,
Nice.
so that you could just wrap it around something temporarily,
Oh,
adjust the light,
yeah, yeah.
and when the scene's over, you take it down, and
Oh,
you can just cover those in the distance. You know, you see
Cover them at night. Every night we'll go up there. We'll cover them.
the reality. It's same like you said, it just needs to have.
It just literally needs like a piece of metal button.
Sort of needs a visor.
Needs a visor.
So I will talk to them and we will try to move forward.
But we're like-
That's right.
There's a little hat.
Thanks
It's like-
for doing that, for going before the Board of Ed and.
Of course, it was great. Yeah, no
Yeah.
problem. Perfect.
That's great, and then we can move across the street and work on
Yeah,
the.
the shorts next. Great.
The two of them are just.
They're
Yeah,
there.
they're fighting.
They're
Yeah.
competing
They're
with each other.
competing, yeah.
Fighting lights.
It's my understanding and recollection, which doesn't mean it's exactly real, but I think I'm right. They have over the years mitigated to a degree. It's still a lot, but it's definitely
It's much
less
better.
intrusive than what it was at one point. So perhaps.
Well, if we work across the street, maybe we can shame each other into visoring better.
Now,
I
I
hate
did
to-
see they did some fencing and some work. Was
Yeah.
that just some underground utility?
They really, yeah, they brought power from the pole. So that was just to stop people from walking.
I think they're doing their sidewalk too.
They've done a site plan for parking. in
Oh, is that what that
recent-
is?
Yeah,
Oh.
recently. I did notice, and I'll notice on my drive home, if by the high school, I did notice there are very valuable
Poles.
poles.
Hmm.
And I think the lights were on when I was driving by, and now that it's getting darker more quickly.
Wow. Yeah, I'll keep an eye out. I
I'm
didn't
gonna
notice them
drive
last
that
night.
way. I'm gonna
but-
drive that way home, so
I
if
don't
I'm
know that I
blinded.
come there in the dark. I have not seen them all night. Or
Last
that might-
night was probably
might
like
have not
It
been
was
dark,
really
but-
pink when I was driving this way today, so they looked on, but it could have just been the beautiful sun. Who
Lots
knows?
of beautiful poles.
Yeah. Yeah.
Very nice.
I would covet it.
Right, anything further on dark skies?
Sharon covets Falls Village's approach. And I think the Audubon Center reached out asking about the regulations and just applause to Falls Village
Right.
for adopting them from being an early adopter, because other towns are looking to.
Look at us.
Cool, yeah.
Thanks for that. Make us feel good. It's like a feel good thing.
And I think by doing so, it just helps our cause as well, that, other towns are now following along. It helps our whole area, it helps our purpose, our goal.
Totally.
Good on them for taking action.
Well, they're big into migratory birds, and it really, really affects birds. So, good job, guys.
That's the only thing we care about in the whole town of Sharon.
No,
It's high on the list.
no,
It's up there.
the Audubon.
The Audubon does.
Audubon, yeah.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Or the time.
Yeah, better.
Early
Sharon.
time through.
Uh-huh.
All right, anything further on that?
No.
Hearing none, other business to come before the commission, POCD implementation subcommittee update. Does anybody have
I
anything?
don't, because that's, Doug did a meeting, but I don't know what came about with the board of selectmen.
So table that for this month. Financial review.
I think there's only 1 month on it.
So yes, it looks odd because it's the start of the fiscal year. It's all that involved rector's for. Started July 1st. Realized so much September 1st, but this is all we have. So, any questions on this?
You want copy that? You can have mine. It's.
Have we been making motions to accept, or we just kind of, just for informational?
I don't know what
It's
you
free
could
to
change
you.
if you deny it.
Yeah, we've never done it.
Right, it's already been recorded.
It's,
That sounds like good luck.
it's our state.
Charge.
Don't think you're. Regulations review, village business zone expansion, next steps. This is interesting,
Yeah.
so listen up,
All right, so I don't mean to throw a wrench into something that we were
which means she's going to.
getting maybe close to pushing forward, but there was a recent public act, it's Public Act 25-1 that the state pushed forward. I look at it as like a sleeper act. There was not a lot of publication about this, not a lot of planning circles were involved, not a lot of attorneys weighed in. It was sort of like in the dark of night at the end of the last legislative session, and it's effective as of July 1, so 2 months ago. And what it does, and this is complicated because it makes commercial zones subject to quote unquote middle housing. So what middle housing is it's housing anywhere from 2 to 9 units. And what the Public Act stipulates, the state statute stipulates, is in the event that any developer wants to come in with a middle housing proposal, it's subject to an expeditious review, which means the commission is not allowed to have a public hearing. So it would be more of like a site plan review that, well, not even, it would actually be like a zoning approval. So that said, it's the state's way to expedite housing development, but it puts us in a little bit of a tricky spot because by expanding our commercial zone and looking to, as the POCD calls for, facilitate economic development, we are now taking on a new, I don't want to say vulnerability because it might not necessarily be a negative thing, but we're taking on a new unforeseen with this new public act.
Good question.
Yeah,
Looking at the lot sizes
yeah,
that are in the village business zone,
yeah.
and we have no town sewer. Would Torrington area help approve 9 units if they can't put a septic system in?
So it all depends on the soil. It all depends on the engineered system.
Right, but if you look at a lot of these lots,
Well,
the sizes
and
of a lot of these lots can't.
You're looking at the upper end too, you're not looking at the lower end of 2.
Or 3. We
Oh, no,
have-
no, I'm trying to look at the 9 and say, do we even have a property that maybe across from the town garage? I think that's 6 acres. Like, I think that's like the biggest lot up there.
Right, these are all maybes, but you know, my,
25.
I had that question as
It's really
well.
boring.
And then, you know, that's looking at it today. What if a new
It's a
engineering
really
standard comes along for septic, which they're already made
Sure,
improvements
yeah,
to
of
shrink
course.
systems? So, you know, it's, again, I think the point is looking
We
at
should
this, we
keep
don't
looking
want
at
to
this.
inadvertently, you know, where our goal has been this, we don't want to, we need to talk about the what if.
And just to add, so when you're functioning as your planning commission, you're looking legislatively as like proactive visionaries, looking at your POCD, and rather than sort of just say, well, because of another agency, this, and this, to me, I don't look at that as being like a proactive planner.
Sure.
It's helpful. It helps us sometimes because it's certainly a caveat with how we look at development. This act was certainly written for those very large towns in the state that don't have as many natural resources, that have public utilities. If you read the act or if you pull the act, you will get quickly bored about how much it is around transportation.
Sure.
Because we all know we don't have public
Mhm.
transportation. Needless to say, we're still
No, someone could use
subject
this,
to.
someone could use that statute and come in.
Exactly. But I think in thinking sort of bigger picture, instead of getting into the nitty gritty of like, let's look at a map of all the potential lots that could be used for development, thinking through, okay, what does that mean if we go to expand the village business zone? And this is because we're doing these PR moments. It's certainly something I wanted to bring into the foray of this discussion because it's commercial zones. So the thing is like this is not residential zones. So all your residential zones, business as usual. Our commercial zones in our small towns tend to be relatively small.
Mhm.
So it's certainly something to consider because of what it then opens you up to.
So are you saying that we should put a commercial zone as part of our business, changes to the business zone so that we restrict or don't have a consumer zone within that?
So the
Expanded
village
business
business,
zone?
the village residential business zone would be an expansion of a commercial zone.
Oh, okay, got it. So
Yeah.
it's considered a commercial zone
So-
regardless. Got it.
It would be, yes.
So right
Right.
now, if you look at sort of your existing zoning map, I'm gonna try not
Oh.
to.
Sorry.
No, this is great. So if you look at, this is your existing zoning map, this
Yeah.
is the inlet of
Totally.
downtown, your village insert. And just looking at the key, so everything in yellow is village residential right now, and then everything in pink is village business. So everything in pink right now would be subject to that public act.
So that's considered commercial.
Correct, because it's called quote unquote village business. The other commercial zones you have in town are village business and rural business. Lawyers don't know what to do with light industrial zones. They're not really touching it right now. A lot of towns don't have industrial zones, but your big ones are gonna be your rural business zone and your village business zone. So basically your red and your pink is where this public act has potential at this point in time. So
By
just,
expanding, as we were discussing, it opens all that up.
Yes, it all.
that's what I wanted
Those
to
people who
bring.
were not so happy at the last meeting won't be anymore.
That's what I wanted to bring to
Yeah.
everybody's attention.
No, that's important.
Not to say the implementation of the POCD is not important, but
Might
just
be another
that
way to promote.
the POCD was written at a time when this public act didn't
Didn't
exist.
happen, right?
Yeah. And a lot of just nuance, a lot of planners haven't accepted this as well written or best practices. A lot of lawyers haven't accepted this as best practices because they really don't feel like it was tailored well for our individual taxes.
So I'm of the planning mind that if we were to move ahead and say, let's just play off well, we don't really have anything that today could meet the muster of that anyhow, for the most part, maybe one lot. But, you know, if we move forward and did that, you know, we also have a future want and need for public sanitation in the downtown area. So would that kind of preclude us not wanting to do that at some point because of of what the state.
Oh, so you're saying if we put this in, we might
You
stop?
might not want to. do
Right, no,
that.
that's interesting. Yeah, I wouldn't have thought about it that way. So it might hinder development future in our town or how we would choose to develop. Yeah, yeah,
Could,
no, that,
in a future.
I wouldn't have thought of
Falls Village,
that.
Somebody might say, hey, well, if we do this, we open up that.
Sure.
I mean, and as planners in your town, it's really up to you in your commission position. From what I took from the POCD development is it's not like in general, the commission and the residents that gave their input weren't anti-housing, weren't against creating more opportunity for people to live in Falls Village. So I think I try to not use the term vulnerable because it sort of connotes that it's a bad thing. Thoughtful housing is a good thing.
Oh, totally.
And I think
it is what we're trying to promote. We are trying to promote the multifamily option. We are trying to promote, I mean, that was why we're trying to rezone this
yeah.
is to promote development of housing or business down below, put apartments above. I mean, that's almost what we're promoting in a way.
So I think,
Yeah.
go ahead.
No, and you as a commission, you've already actually done quite a lot of work towards housing. It was definitely housing around duplexes, housing around like in keeping with sort of the historic look and feel of your village district center. What is so unique about Falls Village that I remark on as I work in other towns is your village center. Like when you get into town hall, there is a distinct sense of place in this area because of your historic village center. That is something certainly not to take for granted. Every town, it's a lot different. So certainly just something to bear in mind because any of these changes, bearing in mind Public Act 25-1, it requires a lot of thought and just knowing like what it can lead to.
So with that being said, and this act being approved, I am, just for discussion purpose, I am of the opinion that we just hit the brakes completely. I feel like, I hope that the state looks at this and maybe better defines, maybe modify it for towns over 5,000 people, under 5,000 people, towns with public transportation, towns without public, something like that. I feel it's gonna have to come out. Um, but it's the state. But I think if we do that, or no matter what, if we choose to go ahead with what we want, have been working towards, if we choose to hit the brakes, I think we communicate that to the town the best that we can, maybe a mail to each house that we mailed to before, just saying, hey, this is, we'll put together some sort of literature.
As a result of
If
Public
we-
Act 25-1, please
Mhm.
write to your
Yeah.
legislature.
If we choose, but that's
You are
just,
so moved.
to start a conversation, that's what my mindset is as of right now.
Well, we aren't in a rush. This
We're
is
not
something
in a
that
rush.
we've wanted to do for 7 years, so it's not like, waiting another couple months. It's not, or there's not a property that needs to be developed. It's not like
Eight more years.
how many more years? 4 more years after
Oh,
the
your
midterm?
next PLC is 2034,
Okay,
right?
yeah, that's right. We have 8 years.
Chairman,
Um,
you might go here, but to add to what you just said, in addition to sort of putting the brakes on this and maybe developing a mailing to encourage people to write to their legislators about writing better laws, but also going back to maybe looking at how to protect the historic village, which is in the POCD.
Yeah. So, right, so if everybody recalls, Janelle helped kind of do all the legwork to put in place a historic district for our downtown area, which I believe is kind of in final form. It just needs to be taken across the finish line. We had committee work on that. I'm almost wondering, how do we get it across the line? right? Subcommittee is not our committee. But do we want to think about maybe somehow putting a historic district language under our purview, if we can put it under our purview? How do we, because we needed to protect, these are my words, and this is just off shooting from the hip.
I have a thought. You just made me think of that. If a mailing were to be developed, saying we're pumping the brakes on this initiative because of recently adopted Public Act 25-1. However, there may be a consideration in accordance to the POCD for the adoption of a historic district. We'd love to chat about this further and then have a follow-up public informational, and we can casually, before anything gets on paper, casually talk about, and we can talk about a little bit of Public Act 25-1, but I don't want to get into the weeds because even when you try to listen to attorneys talk about it, it gets so far confusing and in the weeds. But just to have a conversation about the historic district instead of get to the point where it's like, here's a ballot and you need to vote. Because so the approval process, just for everyone in the room, everyone that would be subject to the historic district, which is based on a map from like 1970 when Falls Village was established as a historic place, but they didn't go further to become a historic district. There's about, if my memory serves me, 79 parcels in the mapped district, and it may have changed because of subdivisions. I think there was like one on Minor Street. So there's about 100 parcels. Each property owner would vote about yay or nay of being in that historic district. Most of those property owners, aside from the industrial people, would get the mailing saying we're halting the VRPC. However, maybe we're shifting gears and maybe it's time to talk about the historic district and just read the room and see what people would want.
Well, but I also think that that's part of a planner's hat. We have to look at this other thing that our community is trying to do and incorporate it into what we're trying to do. So I almost think that it makes sense for us to put on the brakes simply for that reason. Forget about the 25.1. It's more about our town is trying to work on this thing that we want to do, that maybe as our group, we should wait so that we can enact on the historic district.
Because we're with our planning hat.
No, exactly. I think that that's almost better.
And it might be a clearer option than going into that realm of the economic development, commercial
No,
development.
totally. I think we promote it as we're getting close to this historic district and we want to make sure we're incorporating language for our village business zone changes with the historic district.
Well, and just for mental fodder and it's so hard to say this, but I feel it. We kind of need to make sure, I think, is the planning part of our commission, kind of got to protect ourselves from these late pushed acts because we have this really well thought out, well put together POCD, which could be completely blindsided by an act that really sounds like it doesn't have much public support maybe to start with.
Which is
And
also
it
a
could be
state
another
requirement.
layer
Or doesn't even have anything to do with our town. We now have a stipulation that might not even have any validity in our community, but we have to make changes or understandings based on that. And that's even hard.
Yeah.
Well, we're having difficulty getting 10 units out in the rural part of town, never mind 9 units in town.
Totally.
One thing, not to go too far afield, but I think we have a dual hat wearing individual in the room, that affordable housing plan, because of Public Act 25-1, it's no longer. So the individual towns no longer have to have affordable housing plans. What's
Wait.
actually happening,
Really?
yeah, what's actually happening is the region, so the COG by 2027 is going to come forward with a housing growth plan. This commission will have 30 days to decide whether we accept it or if we reject it. And then if we reject it, we have to come up with our own.
Yeah,
So that's something that was also shoved into this.
crazy. I don't like
So
that.
that's really interesting because they had just done 830J requiring the 5-year
Yeah.
plan, which took time, took consultant, took money,
Took revenue.
then was
money.
implemented, and now they're saying, no, never mind, we're gonna do regional housing growth plan.
And the difficulty right off the bat with that is it could be 9 units, but they're not designated as affordable. They're designated as 9 units,
Right.
up to 9 units.
Right, no, it's different.
So it's almost taking that and saying, well, we don't care about that anymore, but because if you're gonna do this, for the most part, it's for profit is the best chance of it happening.
Yeah.
It's very difficult to do it as a
No, of course.
nonprofit.
Really good point.
So,
No, of course.
so does 830 go out the window in total? Because I thought it was, if the town didn't have a required number of affordable housing, it opened up the door for developers to come in and do whatever.
That's still on. So 830G is like tried and true. It's been there since 1990. For whatever reason, it's not been touched.
Right.
It hasn't been adjusted or updated, even though, not one town really, other than like Darien and Stanford, have hit that 10%.
So crazy.
Yeah.
So am I hearing you saying, so that's still in place, so this 25, didn't I just hear you say displace that? Or just that one?
830J.
Oh, J,
830J is 830J is the 5-year affordable housing plan that Falls Village adopted under duress to
Yeah.
get a housing plan that was locally created. And now the state is basically saying, like, forget all those efforts, wait until your regional cog has a plan. But what's going to be really interesting with that is that 30 days. So like, what if we're probably going to have a special meeting just to focus on that, because 30 days is like not a lot to digest it, decide what you want to do and reject it. I've been trying to follow the COGS methodology for how they're going to do the housing growth plan. I don't have a clue.
So a lot to digest, but
Right.
we do that, maybe we'll make sure we get on our next agenda for further steps if we want to.
Yeah.
How we want to dress this up or what we all think about it, so we can
Perfect.
revisit it.
I did want to say something about the village business zone at our meeting, when I was talked about spot zoning, or it was called that it was spot zoning. I did want to say about whatever it was, 2016, 2017, when Robichaud went in at the end of the road, we did extend the village business zone to go up to there. We did, because that's
No.
how that went in there.
No. That was a home business in 2021.
But we had to like talk to the neighbors going up the road. I thought we extended the business zone up through those 4 houses. I thought we actually did that.
I don't see it on the map.
But that doesn't mean we actually didn't do it. So
It does sound familiar.
I wasn't on the board
Did
then.
it change the map?
We never changed it.
What year was that?
I think it was like 16, 17, 16.
Because if the
wouldn't-
map never got changed and the town records never got changed, there's no way that it's valid.
Okay. Because we should find that out, because I have a recollection.
I recall.
Because we had to go through this whole process. It wasn't just a home business. Like it took us weeks, or it took us months of
I think
meetings.
we did extend this.
And that's how we got it in, was we extended the village business zone, because there were only 3 properties. It was from Eversource to the corner. So it was literally those 4 properties up the road. And I'm almost positive we extended it, and those properties agreed to be,
I'm pretty sure.
and that's how we got it. Because I don't think we did that as a home business.
I feel as though we extended the zone, but
And so we got confused on that the last time. So I think we need to figure that out, is what I wanted to ask. How can we figure that
go
out?
back in minutes and try to find it.
I mean, it's revisionist history. If you want to revisit redoing it.
I don't want to revisit redoing it. I more wanted to be able to say that we've already extended this village business zone. Everyone was so upset with this idea
I see.
of expansion, and I want to say there was a business that wanted to come in they put forth a proposal and we extended the business zone, and they said, well, that's spot zoning, you couldn't do it. And I want to say, well, it isn't spot zoning, and we actually already did
Did
it.
an outside applicant do the proposal for the expansion or did the P and Z do
We
it?
did it. Because that was the way that Robichaud could go in as a business, not as a home.
So John, the Robshaw, the fabric, that's only been there since 2020.
Well, but before
It was
that,
Michael Trapp.
there was
Yeah,
another
it was
guy,
something. We
and
were,
then before that, there was another guy doing curtains and blinds. and-
I worked with John to find an avenue for approval under the guise that that property is zoned residential.
interesting.
Because on the property card, it's still residential.
Oh,
And
okay.
it's the home, it's
We
under
did
a home.
something.
I'll
Definitely-
try to look through some
It's
old minutes,
fascinating.
but
It would
I-
be
There was
interesting.
definitely discussion.
because there was something different. That's not, anyways, I just wanted to say
Yeah.
that now that
No,
we
it's a great
we have
point.
expanded the zone, I thought. So
Yeah.
this isn't sort of the first time we're doing this like thing. Thank you.
No.
Good to go.
But then do you want to go back and do it?
No, I just want to know if we did it or not, because I think it's part of our explanation, part of our story.
Got
Hey,
it, got it.
look, here was a business that wanted to come into our community. We made our best effort to want this to happen, and that's why we're trying to expand the village business zone, because
Got it.
that's how you get businesses to come
Well,
to your town.
Thankfully, we have some time to figure it out, but if we could go back and find the minutes.
I'll do some digging.
Yeah,
do-
it's interesting.
We,
So
there
interesting.
definitely has been
There was
past
something.
discussion, no doubt about it.
Yeah.
I
And I'll ask the Salisbury P and Z if they
yeah,
have any recollection, because I thought she said that. Anyways,
I'm
okay. Thank you.
CEO report.
So public comment or no, not yet. Did I skip
No,
it?
we're not
Oh,
there
sorry.
yet.
Oh,
Yeah, CEO, have you heard
sorry.
that person?
I'm back. Okay. So now, if anyone hasn't met John Papp, we are working with a new building official and we are moving to online permitting. So online permitting is soon to be operational and public facing. That's simple permit, so building and zoning. All, like you can do it online. I'm still forgiving. I understand if people don't want to do separate logins, if people want a piece of paper as opposed to doing it online. I'm very much like whatever works for you. Some people are not comfortable with online permitting. I am not mandating it. I'm sort of working with individuals on what they want and then inputting the information for the building official so that we can work online. I'm used to doing it. It's totally fine. I use it in other towns. Just minimal projects. We do have a new conversion of what is an existing footprint just into a structure, and just a conversion of a shed into an accessory dwelling unit. It was timely
Wait,
because
that's what I was gonna say.
we just changed the regulations. Those have been
Where's 10?
effective.
That's exciting.
10 Main Street.
Up the hill,
Our
right?
school.
Yeah, by the school.
Crossway?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
That's
One of those 4 properties.
Yes, exactly. One of the 4 properties. That's great.
I did get some inquiries around tree height restrictions and view encroachment. For the record, there are none. The context was like if trees can be viewed as fences, and if you look in our regulations, we don't have a definition of fences. We may want to get there at some point in time. But certainly I am not going around measuring trees and getting into their height restrictions. We don't say anything that says you cannot screen your other neighbor from any sort of view. So right now, because of our rural nature, we haven't gotten there.
The click over on a lot of that on properties is if they cut trees down. Because like in California, you can have a huge tree and it blocks everything, and that's okay. The moment you cut that tree down, expose a view, you can no longer put
Build
trees
trees,
up
yeah.
that will block that new view that you created.
That'd be
So-
fascinating to enforce.
So it's crazy, and they do, it's nuts, and they top trees, it's a whole thing. So my question to you is if someone has an expectation of their view and a property below them comes in and plants 70 trees, that's okay.
Civil issue.
Got it. Okay.
Talk to your neighbor.
No, that's fine.
It's not, the town is not.
Oh, no, I wanted to just ask that as a question more. I didn't
Yeah, no,
want
it's
that
a
as
great
thing.
question, but certainly I look at that as a civil issue.
Okay, perfect. So
Yeah. Luckily, the government hasn't gotten involved.
And it
with
definitely
trees.
does usually go the other direction of cutting trees down compared to planting them.
Oh, right, and then
Yeah.
like my buddy, it lives in El Cerrito up on the hill in Oakland, and the neighbor cut down a dead tree, and his view got opened up, and now they
It's
can
like-
no longer put
Hmm.
anything, and they literally have to top
That's
the trees that
fascinating.
they replanted,
Trees grow, so that'd be very interesting to enforce.
and it's
Good luck to them.
hugely enforceable. It's
Yeah.
crazy. The accessory dwelling, does it now have to, with our new requirements, it follows all of that and everything else?
Yep, the big thing is your building codes, so
Right.
zoning is relatively straightforward. Yeah, that's gonna be interesting because it is a very small
Well, that's what I
unit,
was
so
curious
I'm
about.
curious about if it will meet building code. John and I had a conversation about it.
How big?
Yeah,
That
On
was
your
my,
shed, I thought sheds had to be under 200 square feet.
It's
so
under 200.
It is.
it's pretty itty bitty. Yeah, we'll see what our building official does with
And they
zoning.
want to
She
use
shed.
it as an accessory.
right, as a
one of
dwelling,
those.
yeah.
They may
that's-
need to come back for an additional zoning permit. I will not be shocked if they need to expand the existing shed.
That's what I was.
Just given like
Yeah.
ventilation, there's a lot to it with the building code. Not to get too deep into the building code, but I would be shocked that you would have a biddable 200 square foot. I'd love to see it. I'll inspect it when it's done, but it has
There's
to
a
pass
movement
building.
for small,
They
small,
do.
so I
Yeah.
They do
understand that.
do, yeah, 160 square feet.
Right,
So,
so I was
yeah.
just sort of
Started a new
curious.
thing.
In speaking with John, he said there was no preclusion to a small, because I think the
Right,
reg,
there's not a
some,
minimum.
there's not a minimum. I think the regulations may have had that at one point, or other towns have had that. But there's not a minimum as far as building code goes, if it meets all the requirements.
So if your
So
conversion,
Chris, 5 feet by 25 feet for you is allowable. Just
Yeah.
saying.
still a mess. I'm just educating myself though, so
Throw a
if
loft
it's
in
a
there.
accessory dwelling, they could, a bathroom, so someone actually
Yeah.
sustain out there,
Yeah,
and does that get tied into their existing?
It depends.
yeah, it depends on what they're doing.
Totally up to Torrington area.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it depends on the.
How does one
existing
find
capacity.
that out?
You go to Torrington Area Health.
And see if your septic can
You're
support it or
gonna,
not
you would need
support
an
it.
as-built of your septic design and you would
And,
say.
and it depends on if you were under the requirements of double, but that only came in the last like 10 or 12
What's a
years.
double?
You had to have double the amount
Oh, I
of
see.
septic for your property, like mine, I think was only 1.5% of the bathrooms on my property. So I didn't have the full requirement then, but I think it's now 2 times
Good,
the number.
moving ahead.
Okay,
Well, thank
thanks.
you. It's
Helps me.
become a lot.
We're on the.
So moved.
Pretty tired.
Yes, there's
So-
nothing.
Anything further on your zoning report?
Oh, it's such a great question. I do feel we may see a future subdivision. We'll see. 166 Sand Road may be a potential, but there's some requirements I'll have to meet. Otherwise, we did receive just a point of order. It's sort of the town of Salisbury sent us a communication. They are required to, if development is happening within 500 feet of the municipality. And this was brought to our attention because there will be the establishment of a single-family residential use in the inner corridor of the Housatonic River overlay. It's entirely happening in Salisbury, but because of where it's happening, it's Route 11. It's 11 Route 7, and it abuts Falls Village. So that's why they have to send it to us.
Didn't-
11, Route 7?
She's still
11,
on.
No, she left.
which is not in Falls Village, but it is within 500 feet of Falls Village, which is why they sent us this letter.
It's gonna be that little corner right by 112, that little piece of
Yeah.
Salisbury,
Yeah.
I guess. It must be down below the auto place.
I was gonna say,
I
yeah.
was gonna say the auto.
Yeah, it's on the other side of the auto place is what I'm assuming as you're
On
around
that
that
corner?
corner.
On that corner.
Yeah. Unless it's 500 feet across the river and it's because it's on the river
I
that
drive that way.
they have
I'll
to.
take a peek.
See if
I
there's
haven't
lights there.
seen any
See if there's light poles.
signs or.
I'm not, the gas station, I would think.
Thank you, Janelle. Any questions for Janelle?
Well,
I think under communication, I just wanted to share, we just received this late. I don't know if Janelle's even had a chance to see it, but
I don't check emails
during this just prior to the meeting.
during-
Oh, no, I like you, it was during.
She was driving, she doesn't check emails while driving.
No, thankfully.
We received from the end of Main Street, I believe, the one who asked a question about farming felt as though her letter was not included. She wrote back, said, I apologize, I see that it was included in our minutes. And she just, sorry, wrong name. Yeah, this afternoon. So she did locate the meeting minutes of our June 25th, 2026 informational meeting, which does include her letter. This is Barbara Lobdell, the fireman question. And just says, please consider these concerns and any changes to the current zoning. And her concerns were the impact of zoning change on my residential agricultural zoning and the tax implications of such a change. So, duly noted, it was on the record, and anything moving forward, we can address that a little bit. I'm a little bit still confused of what that designation is. So.
I think more of an assessor's,
Yeah.
yeah, with PA 490, so the tax. Right.
Oh, so it's under 490, you believe, or do don't know.
I would ask the assessor to potentially look at it further, or maybe even advise the property owner to get the ins and outs from the taxes. Because they're taxing, we're not, thankfully.
We want to, that's we stop. We don't stop till we get to the top. Public comment? Official correspondence, I kind of did that already. We did have a little bit follow up on the tree fence thing, so I'll get back to that person.
One quick scheduling note, and I hate to do this in public before having spoken with our chairman. It's recently been brought to my attention, there is scheduling of something of a personal matter on my calendar. It's yet to be determined. It's probably like a family memoriam, and it might be on our next meeting. So
they're all invited with us with you here.
I just wanted to bring that to everyone's attention. I don't know at this time, but it is like a pending thing. I don't want to just randomly be like, I'm not going to be at the meeting.
I'm not going to be at the meeting.
But something to plan ahead about in September.
Okay.
In case we get a recess or we do a special meeting, depending on what business moves forward.
I think we need our fall break because it's been pretty hectic.
We have been
I'm not going to be here for the September.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, thank you. Thank you for backing me up. Yeah, we've been really hectic.
And Patty, thank you. This has not been an easy meeting to minute.
I don't know if Patty can
I
make
have
the
a
next
lot of
meeting either.
homework. That's all I.
I think after the overtime on this month.
There goes the budget.
Motion to adjourn at 8:40.
I will
Motion
second that.
It's in the record.
All in favor?
Aye.
Who motioned
Dude.
in second?
I motioned.
Eileen,
I second.
Lee was fast on the draw.
Tim almost
I wrote the meeting.
8:38. Oh, you better correct
I
that.
did. Just keep going. It's going.
Thank God we have visited that subdivision club.
Really?
But it kind of shows you how invested it really is.
Well, there's stuff that I never realized.
This for Stephen.
Yeah, beloved. This is our only pastor.
It is.
I have a lot to learn. That's